Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of DisasterMinds Podcast. I'm Micah.
I'm Joel.
I'm Will.
And we're ready just to get into another great episode for you. I'm just going to go ahead and take the reins on this one.
Okay.
What you I'm got? Pretty excited about
Show me
this
what you
one.
got.
So they have announced the title for the Lord of the Rings show coming out
I saw that.
Amazon.
Yeah.
It's called Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. I don't know why. That gave me chills when I heard that. I
really?
thought that was... It did. I think it's a pretty cool title. Why Peter Jackson did it...
twice very close together.
The Lord of the Rings, The Rings... Oh, it's The Rings repeat itself.
Yeah.
Joel, you're absolutely right. Hold on.
I don't have a problem with the name because I think it's accurate.
The Lord of the Rings.
The Rings of Power.
I paused, but I shouldn't have paused.
Yeah, you can pause.
You have to pause.
There's a colon, right?
Yeah.
So you can pause.
Yeah. You gotta pause.
Did you guys see the reveal trailer for it?
No.
It was pretty cool. So it's just, I think it kind of starts going over some fields, but then there's this molten lava that's moving across, it's tracing
Middle Earth.
No, it's in a grid or something. I don't know. It's in
a waffle iron.
Sorry, it's in a mold.
Yeah.
And I could be mistaken. I'm not the most proficient.
I'm gonna write all of this down.
Yeah, please do, and read it back to me also when he's done.
I'm not the most accurate Lord of the Rings.
Lorist.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. But I think it's the opening dialogue, the opening scene from the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. The spoken part is what is being said during this part. She's describing why the rings were made.
Kate Blanchett's part.
Yeah. She's describing why the rings were made, and X many for the elves, X many for the.
X gonna give it to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Anyways, that's all I really had about that.
That's cool.
Really
what was the mold making? Did it not ever show?
Oh, when it panned out, it was the title.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
that's really. I definitely wasn't hoping for a weapon or anything.
Or another ring.
Maybe I should watch it myself. I could be as excited. I could be as excited when I watch it myself as I. Did you get all that, Will?
Yep.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, read it back to me.
Fields of lava on waffle iron. Opening spoken part of Fellowship. X many L's.
Yes,
X many for whoever. Waffle pan turns to title. No actual rings.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's very accurate. I appreciate you reading that back for us, Will.
Yeah, it's just what Micah said. So.
Yeah.
Can we frame that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when the show comes out, we'll use that to be our was it good or was it not?
There you go.
And it will stay there forever.
And it will stay. Okay. That's great. I should have signed it.
That's going to be distracting for me to look at.
We'll need a notary.
Yeah, we need to get it notarized. We'll figure it out. Okay. Well, that was all I had for the entire episode.
Okay, well, that was a wrap. Hey, good episode, guys. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Do you want to have anything?
Talk about?
At all.
I saw some new, not new. I think I have a couple of things that I watched in between last episode. But
please do tell.
So,
Joel, what is your favorite book of all time?
My favorite book is The Count of Monte Cristo.
So I watched the Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce version of that because I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I could talk to you about the book now.
Yeah, you do?
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't think you could.
Is there have you seen the movie?
I stopped watching halfway through because it pissed me off. But, I'm sure that it's a really good movie. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie, so I can't.
Give us a quick rundown of the book.
So, a quick rundown of the book. Guy gets wrongfully imprisoned. Guy, for a long time, 19 years or something. Mm-hmm. Because his life is better than somebody else's.
That seems incredibly fair.
Unfairly fair, I don't know what the right reasoning to throw someone in jail for 19 years is. Anyways, he gets out of jail. He breaks out of jail, and he goes and he finds a treasure.
Oh, wait, hold on. Pause. He gets wrongfully imprisoned, and then he breaks out?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Sounds like another movie I've seen before, but...
Prison Break? Like the show?
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I'm pretty sure once you're in prison, you don't want to be...
I think, when was it, King probably wrote that just a couple years before Dumas? Is that right? That story?
Probably.
Probably, right? Like
a few.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
One
So
of
it was probably King's idea.
Okay.
Anyways,
all right. Sorry.
Regardless of whose idea
I
it was.
interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So he.
I didn't know Martin Luther King wrote Shawshank.
I didn't either. He might have, no, anyway, I'm not going to say that. So he breaks out of jail, and the person who is his cellmate when he's in jail tells him about it, where a treasure is hidden on the island of Monte Cristo. And he goes there, and he, at least I believe, I can't remember if that's the name of the island. It's been a while, so maybe I'm wrong.
It makes sense.
Anyways, he goes there, he gets the treasure, and then he becomes really rich, and he goes back to where he lived before, and like all of his friends and his girlfriend, who were there at the time, like he finds out that his father had died and all this stuff, and he spends a really long time methodically exacting revenge on all of these people, and it is just a great story of vengeance.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That was incredible.
Anytime.
Never read the book. Well, I want you to go ahead and now give me a synopsis of what you watched.
Yeah, so it's basically about this dude who his brother tries to, he gets framed for the attempted murder of the vice president's brother. And he goes to prison, and then the one brother is like, I'm going to break into prison and get my brother out of there because I designed the prison. And
you're not even talking about the
This is
movie.
not the same movie.
So
I was gonna say I wasn't gonna interrupt too hardcore. I was gonna let you tell your piece, but I was like, I don't think that's at all the story.
Okay,
so then Wentworth Miller gets a tattoo over his entire body that is just the layout of the prison. Every episode you focus on one of his body parts. That's like a certain wing of the prison. And then and there's a dude, he's like teabag, and he's like weird and creepy, and Peter Stormare is like just off-putting, like probably as he was in the book.
Yeah. He was so off-putting.
Yeah. A C-note, Sucre. It's just like a big cultural.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think I'm gonna stop you.
So you can see they were the same.
Yeah.
Same.
So here's my problem with the whole thing is I didn't want to read the book and I didn't want to watch the movie, so I was hoping that I could rely on you two idiots to give me a good.
He gave you a good thing in the book, and I think
I'm sorry. You're absolutely right, Joel. You're not the idiot.
I gave you a more.
No,
than
I'm an idiot. No, you don't take that back.
But Will didn't. I don't even know if I believe that you watched the movie, the real legitimate movie.
I gotta remember. Okay, so
let's not legitimize the movie too much.
Well, I just mean like the adaptation.
It's actually fairly.
You definitely covered parts of the movie I wasn't even gonna cover. You said the stuff about him going to prison, which is not that important, and then him getting revenge on people. It's not really important either.
Along the book, isn't it him in prison?
So I read the abridged version because I'm a coward.
Oh, you should just watch the movie if you're gonna read the abridged version.
Yeah, I'm a coward, and I could only assign myself over 500 pages, not over 1,000. So I went for that, and yeah, that's the most interesting part, and it's also a fifth of the book.
That he's in the prison?
Yeah.
Nah, dude. I think the most interesting part is when he's in the knife fight with Luis Guzman, and he's like, I didn't kill him, and I'm a skilled knife fighter, so you can have me be a part of your crew. Everyone wins. And then the guy's like, all right, you've got a deal. And he just wins the hearts of these pirates. I think that's the best part of the book. Winning the hearts of pirates.
The book?
The book.
Okay.
I meant the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it was part of... Was Luis Guzman in the book?
He might have been. You know what? Maybe in the unabridged. I missed it, so...
No, the part where, boom, he gets back. He gets promoted to captain. Previous captain's like, you disobeyed my orders. And then the boss is like, whatever, he's captain anyway. He's like, And then he knocks up his girlfriend, and then he gets framed, and then the best friend is like, but I love the girlfriend too, and she's like, sick, let's get married the second he goes to prison. And then comes back, and the kid looks like
she was ready. She was like, I'm right, I'm on it.
Yeah, and then you learn at the very end that it was his kid the whole time, which the casting gave that away because the kid looked exactly like both of them put together. Nothing like Guy Pearce at all. And Guy Pearce is just like killing dudes left and right, cheating on his wife.
Isn't Henry Cavill in that movie?
Henry Cavill?
The
son, yeah. Oh, I looked for him in the credits because I was like, that kid looks exactly like Henry Cavill.
Is it him?
Yeah.
I looked for him in the credits, but the credits were listed alphabetically, and I was like,
could you not keep track?
And I couldn't.
You couldn't find C?
It wasn't even alphabetical. It said like alphabetical, and then I was like, "Are the actors alphabetical?
Order
or the characters
alphabetical?"
And then I couldn't. No, it was listed alphabetically.
I don't think
he doesn't have a mind for credits.
I don't know if he actually watches them.
No,
well, he can't read a book, so he probably can't read credits.
Right.
Guys, I'm for real. It said listed alphabetically, and it stuck out because I was trying to find if that kid was Henry Cavill. That was the one thing on my mind because I was like, that dumb-looking young kid looks just like him.
That dumb-looking young kid.
It is him.
Yeah, I see it. I see it on there. When was this movie? When did it come
2002.
out? Really?
Yeah.
So he was just a kid? He was just a kid in 2000? Or is he supposed to be like a teenager?
He's supposed to be a teenager.
Yeah. Okay.
He's probably like 35 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
That happens.
All I know is he's a Chiefs fan. That's all that matters to me.
Oh, yeah?
He is.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of funny. I think the only reason he is a Kansas City Chiefs fan is because he plays Superman, who is from Kansas.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
Because he's British, right?
Yeah. Do you think people from Missouri just hate that's the reason why he
I feel like
became a fan of the Chiefs?
If you are...
That just goes to show you how little he knows probably about like the American geography.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think a lot of people in America realize that Kansas City is
Missouri
not in... the Chiefs are not in Kansas.
Well, like there was that Trump tweet where when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, he was like, congratulations to the Chiefs and the people of Kansas or something, and then he had to like retract it and write Missouri.
That's
right. But like, how stupid do you have to be to like make a city in your state and name it after the state next to yours?
I mean, it's pretty misleading.
I think the city was there before either of the states were actually. So
someone moved that border.
Yeah.
That happened later.
Yeah.
Wait,
and
when
it expanded into Kansas.
This is turning into a history lesson. When did Missouri become a state, and when did Kansas become a state?
I don't care about that sort
Hey, well, while Will's looking that up, I do want to say something. I think it's kind of interesting because, Joel, I know you're a big fan of Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
They're making a little biopic of him.
Really?
And Daniel Radcliffe is set to play Weird Al.
I think I can see it.
I saw a little bit of a picture, and I think it's pretty convincing.
Is it going to be as dramatic as, like, the Queen one, do you think? Or do you think it's going to be spoofing?
I think it's a spoof. I think it's
because in the spirit of Weird Al, it's almost got to be a spoof, right?
I
because
know.
like that's his style.
I know, and I've only read the article, so I haven't really. I don't know if there's even a trailer yet for it, but it does say here. It says the Late Show gave first spoof look at Daniel Radcliffe's upcoming movie Weird Al Yankovic on Friday. So it could be a spoof, but
no, it's probably not a spoof. But I wonder.
I'd
watch it. I mean, he does have. I know that some, his parents like tragically died. I think from like a carbon monoxide poisoning. I think.
Weird Al?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, like so that's pretty rough.
I just said Weird Al. I meant to say Weird Al. I'm sorry.
I didn't hear a difference.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I said like in my mind I said owl, but I meant to say like the animal.
Okay.
But.
It's not an owl.
I know it's not. I know it's owl, but I said owl, and I didn't mean to say owl, and so then I went to correct myself. But
well, hey,
I shouldn't have.
It's nice because if you hadn't called attention to it, then I don't think anyone would have known.
Yeah, probably right.
All right. Well, I appreciate. Yeah. I accept your edit of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think we should.
We were just talking about people tracking things.
Can you apologize to me now? For that exact thing.
Yeah.
You called attention
for calling him an owl.
Because now
because of his hair? Because it looks like he could be a nest.
Now you're wasting my time.
William.
Yes.
Sincerely. From the bottom of my heart.
All right, so I figured out why KC is in Missouri and not in Kansas City. Kansas City, Missouri was incorporated in 1853, 80 years before Kansas became the 34th state. So the city was already there, and it was named for the Kansas River.
Yeah.
And then like years later, Kansas becomes a state.
All right, now we know. And so that's why no one can figure out where the damn Chiefs are located.
Yeah, exactly.
Follow the river.
But I mean, geographically though, there aren't like too many NFL teams, right? Like, I feel like people in Kansas or like in our area, Like in Kansas,
in the Midwest,
people are gonna root for the Chiefs. Like for me, for the NBA, I don't really follow NBA.
Right.
But if I'm going geographically, which is like usually how I pick teams I root for,
right.
I'll root for the Thunder. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
that's rough nowadays.
I know.
Yeah.
I think the thing about that, I want to say I would totally agree with you. But I know so many people who live in the Midwest area, who live here in our town, our city, and they are not Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Oh, yeah, me too.
In fact, the guy who married me, the priest who married my wife and I.
Who witnessed your marriage.
I'm sorry. My apologies. Thank you for
You married your wife.
You theologian. He's a Dallas fan.
See,
and I took that personally.
And I wish
Did he go to seminary?
I wish you hadn't said that.
Say what?
Did he go to UD for some?
No, it's just his family.
No, it's just that.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know.
I was going to make a comment. Now I'm not going to make the comment. But I was going to say, if you ever find
Camera's on
anyone who's not the fan of the local place, they are the fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Because they grew up in the 90s probably when Dallas was really good.
Yeah.
And they're called America's team. And America's team hasn't won a playoff game in a long time. Anyways, okay, so
movies and things. Hey, okay, all right.
America's team at this point is basically Tom Brady because he's the only one that's won consistently.
Yeah. So over the past week, I've seen a couple different movies recently. I just kind of wanted to talk about them.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you one of them I'm behind on because I just recently saw it. It's about to go to streaming. It's The Kingsman. And then...
How was it compared to the first two?
Okay, yeah, I do want to talk about that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. But here's the thing. I had gone into it with very little expectations because I just hadn't heard good things about it.
Really?
Yeah, from media, from people who had seen it, just from what even the reviews on it, like it was. I don't think it's ranked very high, but I was like, I liked the other two movies. I wanted to give this one a shot. I liked the cast pretty well. Actually, it was also just like a lot of little cameos were sprinkled in throughout the movie, which I thought was really fun. Stanley Tucci's in it. He played always
great.
Yeah, I forget who he plays, but he has a really small part, but like he's always just fantastic.
Well, you don't have to talk about. I mean, you don't have to talk about that.
What?
Him having a small part. I don't really think that's fair. I don't think it matters. It's what you do with it, with the part. Like he probably really made it. I mean, you talked about him, so it meant a lot to you.
I'm sure a lot of people had very long parts in this movie.
There are probably some people that had some long parts, but I just don't think that it's
Ralph
fair.
Fiennes had a really long part.
The size of it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's what you do with the.
It's what you do
with the time you're given.
With the size you got.
The size you got. Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that I don't think you should have been calling him out like
that. Look, I'm calling him out because it was short, but
it was short but memorable.
It was memorable. When his shortness showed up, it impacted me very differently. It was a nice little.
It was satisfying.
It was very satisfying. And a quick change. It was like, oh, that's nice, and then it moved on, and I was back to the long part. So
it's a little bit of change of pace, but I like it.
Okay, moving on. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic movie. It is a little bit slower paced than the other ones in the past. The action scenes aren't quite as much. Even like in the originals, they're very dynamic. The camera angles, the cinematography they use is really just like all over the place. And we didn't get a lot of that in this one. But for the lack of that, I enjoyed the story. So it takes place. It takes place during the First World War, and it's kind of about how in those Kingsman movies, there's always the Kingsmen who work in secrecy, and then there's another entity who they're trying to take out, who's like working in the background of the
so
other
this
people.
Is not actually related to the same characters.
It's not, but it's the origin of the Kingsmen.
Okay,
so in the end of it, they establish the Kingsmen. And so in those movies, all the characters have code names: Lancelot, Arthur, Merlin, all that stuff. So they establish that. They kind of get the
original,
how the
round table
exactly
as it is.
Yeah, and it was great. I thought it was really good. I don't want to say too much because it is getting to come onto streaming, so people who haven't seen it yet probably want to go and check that out.
Right. Yeah. Like me.
Yeah, I would just say don't go into it with the expectation that you're going to get the same Kingsmen.
Okay.
And I think you'll enjoy it. It's the origin of it, so they're in a way trying to find their footing.
Yep.
But I thought they did it in a really fantastic way. I enjoyed it. my wife enjoyed it, and she hadn't even seen any of the other ones either, and she now wants to go and watch the other ones because she.
Wow.
And she even
that'll probably be a shock then, like go
Yeah.
to the other ones with the camera angles and stuff, like.
Probably.
Like,
Well,
it'll feel like a different movie then.
Yeah, well, because she even said there's a sword fighting scene, and they do a lot of really quick angle work.
Does anyone get cut in half?
I won't say nothing. And
okay. So someone gets cut in half.
No one does
I
actually.
think someone loses their head.
And during that, or after the movie, where she's talking about that scene, she goes, "I thought that was really cool." They do like a really quick thing. So like the one guy, he has the angle's on him, the camera's facing him. He has a sword. He does a little quick parry and stab, and the camera follows his sword, and then switches and meets the other guy's sword, and it keeps going, and then you're at the other guy's perspective. Wow. It was really cool. Yeah. It was a real quick thing.
So it's like when you change characters in GTA.
Exactly.
That's what
yeah,
it feels like.
We shot to the sky and we came back down. We're a different person.
I like it.
They showed some of that like in the trailer.
Yeah.
And that was what like got me interested in wanting to see it. And then Gary's review of it made me not want to.
Oh, okay, well here's what I will say. If
Yeah.
you're a history buff, if you're really into history, I would say don't go watch it, or watch it with extreme unbiased, because they say the reason certain people got into war, the certain reason things happened was influenced by like fictional things.
See,
it's not.
I think going into movies with expectations anymore is just a bad idea.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't know why.
Completely
I don't know why you'd want to go in like, man, I really hope this holds up historically. Like,
Yeah.
because like it's a fictitious movie. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
if you
based
know,
on-
and if you're familiar with the Kingsman franchise, you're
Yeah.
like,
it's
these are
obviously
fun. These
yeah,
are just supposed
obviously
to be fun
it's
movies.
not meant to be. But I mean, I'm not saying that's what Gary was
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. But like, yeah,
I was surprised that they did go with an actual like historic event, though, to be honest, because all the other ones haven't been historically placed.
Well, they're modern though, right? I mean,
yeah, they're modern, but they're not talking about like 9/11 attack. We're not talking about other terrorist attacks that have happened more recently to us. And so I was interested that they decided to jump it back to the First World War and then be like, here's what really happened. I mean, they didn't say that obviously,
right?
But we're in the background the whole time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's no different than anything that happens in a Marvel movie. I mean, like it's all part of that universe.
Takes place
like,
in
it's
Earth, but
it doesn't have to be real. So I don't know. I think I was reading a lot of negative reviews recently, and I just find that like, if you go into movies, like, what kind of life you have if you're just like giving 1-star movie like reviews to movies that are like not meant to harm anybody. Like they're just stupid. They're just stupid. They're only meant to exist. Someone had an idea. They thought they'd put some time and effort into it. I'm not saying there aren't movies I dislike. I'm just saying like, what is the point in wasting your energy telling everyone how much you dislike something for a reason that is completely stupid?
I think film critics.
Well, I think that before Micah starts talking, I think you have a really good question there. I'd like to dive into that.
About movie synopsis?
Yeah, about like why do people have very stupid opinions about movies?
Well, I do, but this is not about that.
Oh, okay.
That's a different thing.
I was going to say, like, that's a good segue.
That would be a good segue, but that's for a different thing. This one,
okay.
Stay tuned, and we'll get to that in the future.
So, I mean, I'm sure we've all seen online those videos where people create like generic synopsis for movies, and you have to determine what the movie is. So I decided to write a couple for you guys to see if you guys could guess the movie from those synopses that I have for you.
All right, let's do it. Hit me.
So the first one I have for you guys is a man and his buddy start a group to hang out with their companions to try to relieve the stresses of everyday life.
Okay. A man and his buddy join a group.
Yeah, a man and his buddy start a group to hang out with their companions to try to relieve the stresses of everyday life.
Jeez Louise.
It's very basic, I understand that, but I just wanted to see if you guys could guess.
We have multiple, like...
Start a group.
You guys can work together.
There
are
clues, right? Like, we can...
No, there are no clues. That's the synopsis.
That's all we get.
I need you guys to tell me what movie that is.
Can you say it one more time?
A man and his buddy start a group to hang out with their companions to try to relieve the stresses of everyday life.
Deadpool.
Okay.
That's your...
Because don't Ryan Reynolds and TJ Miller get on LinkedIn to start a group so that they can save people from danger?
They do. That's right. In the second Deadpool, they create X-Force.
That's a great scene, by the way.
It is a great scene.
I love it. It's not
that
Devin.
scene. Okay, so hold on. Let's talk this out. A group of guys get together.
No.
A
man and his
A
buddy.
man and his buddy.
Oh, a man and his buddy. So 2 guys.
Yes.
Get together.
Start a group.
Start a group.
To hang out with their companions.
Oh, to what?
To try to relieve the stresses of everyday life.
See, if you weren't going to say that, I was going to say it's Neighborhood Watch, but he said to relieve the stress of everyday life. And he did to protect the people in the neighborhood and their aliens.
Man,
oh my gosh, I don't know.
It's very vague.
Can we get a clue?
It's
very
challenging.
vague.
Yeah.
Can we get a clue? Something?
Or do you have more?
Yeah, I don't have any more, but it's a club.
A breakfast club.
Is it Fight Club?
It's Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Okay, that's
You're
good.
absolutely
Yeah.
right, though.
Yeah, that one's very generic. I apologize for that.
No,
one.
it's good.
That's the kind of challenge we
one.
want.
Yeah.
Here's one that's a little bit. I mean, it's still kind of vague. So, a man comes out of retirement only to find the workplace is more brutal than it was when he was a younger man.
Is it Taken?
It is not Taken.
Okay.
It sounds like John Wick.
Oh man.
Yes.
Oh, is it John Wick?
Well,
It's not that good of a guess.
Okay. quick. I'm sorry. Time out. Pause. When I went to go see The Kingsman, I saw a trailer for another Liam Neeson movie.
Oh yeah.
Which is just like it's Taken.
They're all Taken anymore.
Only it's his granddaughter this time.
Well, okay. there was another movie with him where like his son is in danger. And he's gotta go.
What's that one called? I forget.
It's the one with.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have to go into it right now.
Yeah.
We can talk about it after.
Ed Harris is in it. With
yeah, you're right. But I just
Run All Night is what it is.
Yeah, I just thought it was wacky. Anyway, sorry. Give me the synopsis again, please.
A man comes out of retirement only to find the workplace is more brutal than when he was a younger man.
Okay, so it's not John Wick. It's not Taken.
I almost wonder if we're thinking too much action.
Okay.
We don't need to be.
But yeah, you're right. It would make sense if it was action because like
when you come out of people in movies when they come out of retirement, it's almost never like I'm just going back to work.
Yeah. Like there's never a movie about a factory worker.
Well, that just wouldn't be a good movie.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't.
I'm sorry.
It wouldn't.
It just probably would not be.
Workplace is more brutal.
It'd be like Free Willy 2 should have happened. Oh man. Can we get a clue? Are you ready for a clue?
I can't. Really,
I don't know if he could without.
I can't really give you a clue. I could give you the title if you want me to give you the title.
The title of the movie? No. Hold on. We need more time for this one.
Who's
an old man comes out of retirement.
Does it say old?
I said a man comes out of retirement only to find the workplace is more brutal than when he was a younger man.
The workplace is more brutal than when he was a younger man. For some reason, I don't know why. In my head, I'm picturing Magneto, but in the second X-Men movie, he does that. Like he goes into hiding and he gets back into his I know it's in the movie.
One last ride.
Yeah.
A man comes out of retirement. I think, what if that's just a very generous way to vaguely put gets unfrozen from ice for 80 years? Like, is it Captain America?
That would be good. That would be really good. That's a good guess. It is not Captain
America.
Man,
though. I really thought you had it.
Man comes out.
But you got to think about it. When he went into the ice, he was in World War II.
Yeah, but like
things were much worse after
technology, the Tesseract gets more.
No, I understand. I'm just saying you're arguing.
Actually, no, they didn't have like crazy Tesseract weapons after he came out of the ice. True. It was like World War II. They were doing experiment. It probably was worse in World War II.
Yeah, probably was a little bit. Oh my gosh. Give up on this one or keep going?
I'm like.
I'll give you guys one more guess. How about that? Collectively, you guys have one more guess.
To the listener, when you're faced with a challenge like this, you just really want to believe that you can get it, which is why I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't want to.
Well, you can always pause it right here if you want to think about it for a while.
That's true.
I'll give it to you one more time. A man comes out of retirement only to find the workplace is more brutal than when he was a younger man.
I don't know. To not wasting more time, I'm gonna give up.
Paul Blart 2.
It's The Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight. Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes out of retirement.
Yep.
Bane is a pretty brutal workplace for him.
You're mad at yourself.
So disappointed in who I am as a person.
No, there's no way. I mean, okay. Anyways,
good grade.
I'm gonna move on. Ha! I'm gonna do. You guys want one more or two more?
Oh, I think this is going by faster than BOGS would.
Let's do two more.
Okay. Two rivals vie for the spot as the number 2 guy. When it goes a little too far, they realize they have more in common than they initially believed.
Oh, jeez, that could be
Rivals for number 2.
Wait, rivals for number 2 or
for the number 2 guy.
Is it The Office?
No.
That's it.
This is a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are movies.
Okay, one more time.
Two rivals vie for the spot as the number 2 guy. When it goes a little too far, they realize they have more in common than they initially believed.
What's a movie where people are like competing for second place, or like, I'm guessing to work
I guess
under someone?
number 2, I guess, would be like the number. I don't know. Like it's like the right hand guy is what I meant by that. Not like. I didn't mean it like
They're trying to be like the assistant manager.
Or like assistant to
it's like
person.
they're like the number 1 to somebody else, but it's like the number 1 guy. You know, he's like this is his number 1 guy.
It's like if Mike Wazowski and another dude were competing to be with Sully.
Yeah,
as like their manager.
That's a really good way to think about it.
Like that's what I'm
really
thinking.
good train of thought you're on there.
Okay. Oh.
So it's a Pixar movie. Oh, it's Toy Story.
Yeah, it's Toy
Story. Oh, you're right, because Andy, they want to be.
Yeah, they want to. So it's Winnie and Buzz.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
I'm glad I thought Monsters.
No,
Inc.
I know that was like.
No way.
I was like, that's really solid. Anyways, okay, so this is the last one. This is actually the first one that I wrote, but it's the last one for now. So, a gruff, independent contractor repeatedly outbids other contractors for jobs. His luck runs out, though, when after completing multiple jobs, the credit is given to his competition. When the competing contractor jumps into his current job, the gruff contractor uses his knowledge of religion to help him keep his head.
Oh my gosh.
Keep his head.
Gruff? You use the word gruff a lot.
I had to separate him from the other contractor.
Okay.
So.
Gosh, that was a big one.
It's a lot longer, but it was because it was my original inspiration.
Can I get it one more time?
Yeah. Gruff, independent contractor repeatedly outbids other contractors for jobs.
Okay, stop.
Repeatedly outbids other contractors for jobs.
Okay. So he's a contractor and he outbids them. So he lowballs and comes back to buy. Okay, keep going.
No. He gets the
balls.
bid. He gets the bid.
Oh, he gets the bid.
Yeah, he outbids.
Sorry. Oh. Which still me. Okay, that's fine. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Go ahead.
His luck runs out, though, when after completing multiple jobs, the credit is given to his competition.
Okay, pause. Okay. The credit is given to his competition. Okay.
When the competing contractor jumps into his current job, the gruff contractor uses his knowledge of religion to help him keep his head.
Is it Bruce Almighty?
It is not Bruce Almighty. No, that is not it.
I am racking my brain very hard.
This is a tricky one.
Yeah.
I can't think of any movies I've seen where there are people bidding for each other or against each other for jobs. Now, contractor, is it okay, can I ask a clue? Is it like contract work in like construction or killing?
No.
Neither, or you're not going to tell me the answer?
I'm not going to tell you the answer, but it's neither of us.
Well, then you just told me the answer.
Yeah, well, it didn't give you anything.
Oh my gosh, this is tough. Repeatedly gets the bid. Credit is given. Wait, read it one more time.
A gruff, independent contractor repeatedly outbids other contractors for jobs. His luck runs out, though, when after completing multiple jobs, the credit is given to his competition.
Pause. When you say credit, do you mean the money or like...
Is it Ratatouille?
It is not Ratatouille. That's a great guess. That's a really good guess.
Is it, when you say credit, is it like they credit it to this guy or he's
They
getting
credit
money?
it to a different guy.
Okay.
It's not money.
Okay, just making sure I'm following.
When the competing contractor jumps into his current job, the gruff contractor uses his knowledge of religion to help him keep his head.
This is the religion. What?
Is it Spider-Man 3?
No.
Because
he does tell Peter. He does tell him to get. You want forgiveness? You get religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that.
And then Eddie or Topher Grace gets fired.
Yeah.
And
because of the credit.
It's not bad. Hey, I'm not saying that's not bad.
But that would fit.
But I'm saying there is one that it fits even better.
Okay.
And also, I don't view that as his knowledge of religion.
Nah,
Yeah,
right.
I don't view that.
Well, he did go to Jesus and ask him to kill somebody. So I mean, he's pretty. I think he's on the right
He knows
track.
how the Lord works.
He knows that if you cry just enough,
the Lord works in pretty straightforward ways. That's a quote, right?
Oh, jeez, I don't.
I'll give you guys one more guess.
Oh, okay. If you got a guess, that's great. Oh man, I'll take it.
You want the answer?
Oh, the guess.
So I'll give you guys one more guess.
Hey,
I'm not guessing. I know the answer.
When you say that, I heard Clue in my head. I'm sorry. I haven't had coffee.
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's all right.
A gruff contract. Wait, say it again. Say it again.
A gruff independent contractor repeatedly outbids other contractors for jobs. His luck runs out, though, when after completing multiple jobs, the credit is given to his competition. When the competing contractor jumps into his current job, the gruff contractor uses his knowledge of religion to help him keep his head.
Oh. The religion part threw it off, but I was like, is it A New Hope? With like, is Han Solo the gruff contractor, and then Luke Skywalker gets the credit for...
Well, Han Solo, again, you're very close with that. But it is not that.
Okay, so is it Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it an Indiana Jones movie?
Yes.
Is it Raiders?
It is, yes. So he continuously goes into places, he finds the artifact, right? And then, what's his name? I can't remember. The other guy, though, he always comes and he like puts his hand out and he takes the idol as soon as Indiana Jones gets out of that place with a boulder, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, this guy is always like there and he gets it much easier. That Indiana Jones does all the work, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then when he comes into the current job that he's working on, finding the Ark of the Covenant, right? He uses his knowledge of religion to keep his head. The other guy's faces melt off. Yeah. Remember? You know?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just wanted to clarify.
That was really good.
All right.
That was good.
Well, thanks for guessing, guys. I'm sorry that was a bit more difficult.
No, that was really. I think
Cheesy
that's a
pizza,
cool.
dude. That was good. No, I'm good. I'm happy with you.
No, I know you're mad. It's all right though.
No, I actually I don't know. It actually makes me think of a question I had about Indiana Jones that I thought about the other day. I was like, it's a really good series. The first three, you know.
I agree. The first three are really great movies.
Right, and then they came up with the fourth one where he survived a nuclear explosion by being in a
fridge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the question I had, and I actually don't even have an answer for this. I don't think. But like, okay, yes, the series would have been better if they stopped after the three. But they were going to make a fourth one regardless. We probably couldn't stop that. How would you
19 years later.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. How would you guys pose to make it better?
Like reboot the series?
Yeah, like if you were in charge of directing.
And we still had Harrison Ford, because Harrison Ford's still going to be in a new one again.
Yeah, they actually got delayed because he got injured yet again. But
so it's been
go back to when
what has it been, like 14 years since the last one came out? 16 years?
Let's find out.
2006 or 2008?
Let's find out.
I know is it was 19 years after the third one came out, because it's actually 19 years later, and that was accurate. Like
2008.
2008. Okay. Yeah. So it's been 14 years since that one came out.
So put yourself in the place of you're making that movie. You're in charge.
So I am.
What would you do?
Steven Spielberg. I am George Lucas.
Yep, absolutely. What are you doing to make the Crystal Skull better?
Well, I mean, I think that the whole point of the entire series was always they had something that the opposing people wanted. I think that still kind of holds true. The only difference is, the problem is that, like, the thing they're looking for, though I don't have a problem with them looking for it, and they find it, like, it proved there was aliens. I don't know. That was really hard. Like that, the plot not necessarily would have been bad. It's I don't think anyone. I don't know. I rewatched it recently. I don't think that anyone had a problem necessarily with the first hour and a half of the movie. I actually don't think necessarily anyone had a problem with it. I think where people really got a problem with it was when those giant statue things started warping into aliens or whatever,
Right.
and then they leave on their spaceship. And this is set in the 50s, something like that, maybe. I think it's
About that.
It might be the 50s. It might be the 60s. Early.
Yeah.
I think it's 50s. I think it's in the 50s.
So you think just removing the aspect of aliens?
It's a movie about archaeology,
Right.
And I mean, like, and I'm not saying that there aren't people out there who believe that there are aliens. I'm not saying that there aren't aliens. What I'm saying is that, like, they're implying that aliens. I mean, that makes that movie, like, that makes that Shia LaBeouf film no different than Transformers when he's Samuel Witwicky. And and his grandfather finds a giant robot under the ice in the 30s or 40s or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally no different than that, because now they found this ancient alien species that have been on Earth for years.
Yeah,
Like,
and do you think that kind of, in a way, almost like debunks what Indiana Jones has been about, but with archaeology and discovering history and preserving history? You think it makes it like, because in the original 3, like, all the stuff he discovers and finds and goes after is actual historic stuff. You know, the Ark of the Covenant. He goes and gets the chalice. That King Arthur who drank out of it. The what's it called? The one that gave you eternal life. What's that called?
The
chalice.
Yeah,
the chalice from Last Supper.
Right.
You know, and like all this time, it's been stuff that is
religious. Yeah, that's true. Like,
well, it's not. I'm not trying to say it has to be. Indiana Jones is a religious movie. What I'm trying to say is that, like, do you think having aliens come into it in a way almost debunks the fact that all this stuff that he was searching for that humans have been a part of no longer is relevant because it was aliens the whole time?
I don't think so. I don't think necessarily it means that. I just think that it takes away it takes away the wonder of the planet that we're on. I feel like, in a way, because, like, you know, in the first 3 movies, these are all things that are found on Earth, are like you said, made by humans, or just generally made by humans and then discovered, you know, later on. And like, it's very interesting. Like I feel like in archaeology, you're searching for things that humans made in history, and you're trying to figure out why they made them, why they used them, and like
find the story that it
right
tells.
like why it existed, why it was there, how come, like, they went to this location and all that stuff. And then you get aliens, and it's like, okay, well, that's not even really at all what archaeology. I mean, like, yeah, they found it on Earth. That's true. Like, they found it underground on Earth, but they went to, like, a whole different dimension when they went into the Earth.
Yeah,
and it was like, this isn't even based in anything anymore. Now, again, I just said earlier, like, you know, I don't think people should go into movies with expectations. But, like, you watched a movie growing up as a kid. You saw this guy who was really awesome. Like, that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Like, because I loved when he was being chased by the boulder, and, like, the fact that he had a whip and he was just so badass. And, like, he, you know, he, like, could do all this stuff. He was afraid of snakes. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's relatable. You know, I'm afraid of snakes. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like it takes that away completely. Okay. In my opinion. I don't know. No, I don't even feel like the plot's necessarily that bad. Like, they go and they're searching. It's the same thing as normal. They're searching. There's Nazis again, or I think it's Nazis.
Yeah, it's Nazis.
Yeah, again. And they're, like, competing to try to get to this stuff first. Again, I don't know why the Germans want to wield, like, everything as a power. Like, but it just never works out.
So, summarize, you just think that it's in its own merits, it's decent enough until it gets to the alien aspect, and it just gets kind of loses. And then you're just like, what the F?
Yeah,
like, for sure. I agree with you. I think that's about it. Well, do you have any?
I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's been so long since I've seen Crystal Skull that, like,
understandably so.
Yeah, I mean, like, even as a kid, I saw it and was like, this is not Indiana Jones. This is me.
You've seen all the other ones.
Yeah, but by that point, I was still, like, it was 2008, right?
Yeah.
So I was 7.
Right.
So I was interested more in, like, what? Shia LaBeouf is in it. He's cool. And so I was like the dumb kid. He was like, CG, if he's riding on the got one leg on a
Yeah,
Jeep and another leg on the Jeep, and there's like all the plants.
And he turns into Tarzan all of a sudden.
Yeah. I was like, that's the adventure I'm looking for. Like, because that's not far from what Harrison Ford would have been doing in the first three. It's like running from the boulder, doing the exciting things. But I just kind of like lost me as a kid, even when it got to aliens. And I was like,
like because the rest of the movie is grounded in things that are possible.
Yeah,
and like I'm not saying that's. I guess I'm not saying that's impossible, but like.
But that's where the excitement.
But it's so unlikely.
Yeah,
and like for me, like there is this show called Curse of Oak Island. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but these guys, they own land like up in Canada, and they like dig on this island, and they're searching for treasure. They're searching for treasure, and they've been doing this for years now, and when I heard about this show, my dad was telling me about this show, and I was like, whoa, that sounds so interesting. And I think the reason why it sounds so interesting is like somebody, like, I don't know, it's really cool for me to think about, like, long ago, somebody came to North America, up in Canada. They landed their boat on that island, and they buried a crap ton of gold there. Like, that's so cool. What is that story?
Yeah.
Like,
why?
Like, yeah, and like thinking about how they came on a wooden boat, like probably with massive sails, and they were probably pirates or whatever. And like, I don't know what their lives were like. That's so interesting. I want to learn more about that. And then like, you think about how interesting that could be, and that's what all of those movies are about until the fourth one, and then it's about aliens.
Yeah,
and it's like, no, we can't explain that because it's aliens. And
so, what would you sub out then? And Crystal Skull.
Would I swap?
Yeah. What would you? Yeah. If you're gonna remove the aliens, and like, how would you try and make that movie better?
I would have, instead of aliens, because they're in South America, right?
Yeah.
And it's like,
So.
I don't want to get because this is arrogant if I get this wrong. But and it's been so long since I've seen it. But is it like Aztec or Mayan or Incan or what?
It's something like that.
There's a tomb that they're like, the way they justify the aliens is like, we don't know what was recorded here or what happened, and then this is the kind of contact that we're revealing to the world. I would have just gone with like Nathan Drake in Uncharted. Like this is just ancient Incan treasure, and but I would have done
No, that would have been an Indiana Jones movie because you would have been going for like the Crystal Skull. I think there is like a South American culture that has like like ornate skulls that you can that you find, and like, let's find out the real story behind that. Let's not just make it about aliens came to Earth and these guys worshipped them, and they're still here also, and they're gonna ET go home now. At the end of the movie, like, we awaken them to go home or whatever, and whatever. How are they powering the ship? Like, let's get down to some real facts about it.
Is it solar power?
I don't know. I think it's powered off belief, like Tinkerbell. I don't even think. I don't know how it's powered because it's been sitting on Earth for years and years, not working. I don't know. So, anyways, it's just like, again, the movie's probably fine when they're just searching for, like you were saying, like the South American history.
Because there's a lot of history and gold. When the Spaniards came over, they left so much of that gold. Like we were talking about Oak Island. Mm-hmm. There's a lot there. Like that's where you head south of the United States, and then you've got your Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and there's plenty of stuff there. It's like Cortez, Fountain of Youth, all the things, and then you dive into the inwards, and you've got the indigenous peoples and the cultures that revolved around like precious metals, rubies, gold, like all of the those things. Rubies, not a metal.
Yeah, and I also feel like that's almost taking away something from those indigenous cultures because
that was their chance for Hollywood to shine a spotlight on that.
And it's like they built all these really cool temples and stuff, and there's all of this history there.
Yeah.
And they're incredibly like complex, and a lot of people think they actually they're aligned like with the way like the stars are aligned. Like star alignment. And all this incredible stuff they did, and how did they do it? I don't know, but like we decided to take that avenue to aliens.
Yeah, when you could have a very easily a very interesting story.
It makes sense. I mean, what's easier, to explain how the Mayans built those pyramids, or that aliens just showed up?
It's always easier to say aliens showed up.
Okay,
but that's not what we want.
Okay, but let me. So we're talking about path of least resistance right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay, so let me add a third avenue. Don't make the movie.
Yeah.
Well, then you're not going to make money.
I don't.
Yeah, this is a question of ethics.
I'm
now.
sure they did make a lot of money with that movie just because of like
Nostalgia.
opening weekend.
Well, I mean, that's what.
After everyone found out, they're like,
That's what it was for like
Star Wars.
Rise of the Sky. No, sorry, not Rise of the Skywalker. Force Awakens. It was
Yeah.
like it. Not giving too much away for maybe some future BOGS, but the first one did really good, and then from there, we kind of know how it happens. It's because people were just like, oh, we thought this was
ready
really
for
good.
rebooted. Everyone saw J.J. Abrams. It's like the Star Trek series really good.
Yeah, they had their hopes high, and then they were just kind of let down. And so I think that's why I'm really interested to see what Indiana Jones 5 is going to be like, and what they're going to, even how they're going to do it. Because I
hope
honestly,
I hope they just ground it back in reality.
I hope so too. At this point, he's so old.
They need to replace him with someone new if they're going to keep this
Well,
going.
that's what the plan was Shia LaBeouf. He's his son, right? So they're going to continue on the saga with Shia LaBeouf taking over, doing the same stuff that his father did. But then it didn't work.
So I have a question though. Is Disney own Indiana Jones now?
I thought they did.
Because they own Lucasfilm.
It's LucasArts, so yeah, they would. They probably should. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it's also Spielberg. Is it Lucasfilm but Spielberg directs?
It's George Lucas's creation.
I know it's his
but,
idea.
yeah.
It's his characters.
I'm pretty sure Disney bought all the rights to everything
Lucasfilm.
Films and arts.
And art.
This Lucas's creation.
Yeah.
So everything he's done.
Except for okay, that makes sense.
So all the movies, all the games.
So it is Disney now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
So who?
They made back their money.
Who?
Yeah, easily.
Not with with Lucasfilm. But
No, I mean Crystal Skull.
Oh,
The budget they made it back.
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm not
very much
right, but like the common view of that movie is not a good.
No, it's not.
Like,
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Overall, I'm sure they did because people probably had a lot of anticipation to see it. But
well, it's been 19 years since the Indiana Jones movie came out.
I was
Harrison
excited
Ford's
to see it,
in it,
and I didn't even grow. Well, I grew up. Sorry, I didn't grow up in the era where Indiana Jones was coming out. I grew up watching those movies, of course. But so when I heard the new ones coming out,
okay. But here's something I got to put out there. Like it was hard watching Harrison Ford run around in that movie. Mm-hmm. That was 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he was old then.
Yeah, he's like.
Was he 80?
Almost. He was 64 when they did Indiana Crystal Skull.
Crystal Skull. Yeah. So now he's like 78.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't want to see that because not from like a I don't think he can. I don't want to see it, and this is probably selfish. Like I don't want to see it from like a like. It was so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you want to binge through all the Indiana Jones, like you see him go. I mean, that's life. That's life. So you see the archaeologist live his life, I guess. But like, I don't know. It's just something I don't really want to see, I guess. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. Well, no, I shouldn't say I'm excited. I'm interested to see what they do. But I think that was pretty good. You guys answered that pretty well. I again, like I said, I don't know what I would do to make Crystal Skull better.
I think it would take a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of spit polish and elbow grease. But I don't know, probably just remove aliens would probably be the biggest thing to do and kind of try and build off. I like your idea, Will, like diving deeper into the indigenous culture that they had discovered there and just seeing. Cause this is what all his movies have been about.
Because that's what's going on in the world. That's what they're trying to uncover. Is like what happened. Now, like if for example that was something that actually happened. And we've discovered aliens, and they just flew off in the night one time.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Let's make a movie about it. Oh, remember that time? Oh, yeah, I remember that time when that happened, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's all right.
So, I don't know. It's just harder to...
Yeah.
Like, people have searched for the Ark of the Covenant.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, things like that. Like, those aren't like those are like real things that people are super interested in. I guess another thing, though, that would be really hard for Indiana Jones in this day and age is just like... the sheer amount of knowledge that everyone has. Like, you can look anything up by Googling it. Mm-hmm. I know that doesn't mean that everything's been discovered, but, like, it's harder to, like, grab that awe that people have towards something.
Right.
Because you could just Google it right there. Whereas when Indiana Jones came out, you're like, oh my gosh, like, is that what that's life is like? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
true.
It's like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, to that effect, that's kind of the filmmaker's job then to...
Right, so you think
precaution.
aliens is the only place you can go to
really
pull someone off?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever.
I would like to meet someone who genuinely loved that movie, though.
That'd be good.
Looking at the trailer of it, there's like good.
It looks
quality.
like classic.
They take the Indiana Jones, like essential core aspects, from the first 3, and they have like it's modern and it works and it's good. But then you watch the movie and
But again, I don't think there's a problem with the movie
until the very end.
Until you get to the part where they go into that weird like sub-dimension place that also has a sky, even though they went into the ground. And then maybe I'm misremembering that. I don't know. I could be wrong. No. And then the aliens take off. Like I don't think it's a problem until then.
Yeah.
I just think it's the way they explain the
ending. I mean, and that can be probably the fault in a lot of movies is the ending.
I think the real interesting part of those movies also is about the fact that like the Nazis are trying to prevent or like trying to fight them to get this stuff. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like a preservation of history at the same time that it is like interesting archaeology, because the Nazis were trying to just collect every bit of like art and every bit of like history and just keep it to themselves. And I don't know, like he's like fighting these guys who like he's like in a chase to try to like get them before them. And I think that's part of the interesting, because like maybe I'm wrong, but like I feel like the Nazi World War II thing is having less of a part of the culture that it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago when Indiana Jones came out. Like I still find it very interesting. I just don't know that it's like something that in popular culture is that interesting anymore.
Yeah, there's too much other stuff that has happened that goes on. That
I mean, at this point, most anyone who was alive during World War II is very old or gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just something that's going away. But it's like, as history does, like we don't talk about the Civil War. Like, you know, I mean, we don't.
On the contrary, I bring up the Civil War almost daily.
Oh, that's great. Do you have good discussions about it?
No, because no one else wants to talk to me about it.
I'll talk to you about the Civil War. I love the Civil War.
We'll say that for another episode. Hey guys, thanks for joining us again for the episode of DisasterMinds Podcast. We hope to see you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be back.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.